Hello. Well, I was going to do some questing tonight, but before I can actually start questing, I have a slight problem I need to resolve in the game, and I'll show you what it is. I think that's the right save. I'll just check, make sure it's the right save. Yeah, right. So the problem is that my follower, Lydia, is stuck in the house. Now, the house that I'm using is this riverside cottage. It's a mod, and she followed me in the house last night, as any good follower ought to, and she's been guarding it quite faithfully all night long. But now it's morning time, and I've told her to follow me, and she will not follow me. So
as you wish, my thane.
I'll demonstrate. I've told her to wait. Now if I tell her to follow me.
As you will, my thane. I will protect you with my life.
So she's done the default reaction to being told to follow, but I'm walking towards the door. She's not moving. If I open the door and walk out, she doesn't come through the door with me, which is the normal behaviour for a follower when you enter and exit a building. And if I go over to my horse here and I mount my horse, normally follower, she would run out the house, jump on her horse and be ready to follow me, and I can ride off and nothing happens. And I've actually ridden all the way to Whiterun and back, and she's just stayed in the living room there of the cottage, and she hasn't moved an inch. So the conclusion is that the only way I'm going to free her from the cottage is by using a console command, and I've had to do this before to free up Frodnar, the little boy in Riverwood Village who got stuck in the middle of the road. So I have used console commands before, but they are immensely fiddly, so I thought I'd just do this video to show you sort of how I went about. I've actually solved this, so I know what the solution is, but I'll go through it again so that I can show you. The first thing to know is that to call up the console command pane, you press on the tilde button on the keyboard, which is actually the button to the left of the 1. So, and you get this dark panel up here, and you can type in console commands here. And what I've seen some people suggest you type in is player.place@me, and then what's called the actor's reference, the reference that identifies the NPC. So I'd type in Lydia's actor's reference there, and she would appear next to me. And it works, and you do get Lydia appear next to you. The problem is, as someone else has pointed out on the forum, it's not the original Lydia, it's a clone. And so what you end up with, what I would end up with, and did end up with when I used it, is a Lydia standing next to me outside and a Lydia in the house. Then the Lydia in the house had got all the special gear and everything on, and the Lydia standing next to me was a brand new vanilla Lydia with nothing in her packs, nothing, no extra armour on or anything. So it wasn't the right solution. So I've been doing a bit more research, and I've determined that the correct command I want to use is Moveto player. Now, according to the console reference page, console command reference page, that should move the actor, which is the focus of the command, to the player. The problem is, of course, that I can't select Lydia because she's inside the house to actually move her. So what I tried first was to find out her actor's code. So if you type in help Lydia, press enter, you get what is supposedly Lydia's actors command, actors reference, which is 000A2CE-C8E. And I've tried that and it doesn't work. So if I test it now, if I show you now, if I type in player dot move to and type in that reference, now what ought to happen is my character should be moved to Lydia, because that's her actor's reference. Alright, but when I type it, when I press enter, it comes up invalid object reference. So basically the actor's reference which has come up as a result of the help isn't the actor's reference that I need, and I don't know why that is, but it isn't. So the first thing I've got to do before I can do anything else is find out what Lydia's real actor's reference is. So I'm going to close the console command and go inside the house. Right, I'm going to go into first person mode. So, right, so to collect her actor's reference, if I press the tilde key again to bring up the console and I just click on Lydia, it comes up with her actor's reference, or something that looks like her actor's reference. I wouldn't assume it necessarily is. And if you spin the mouse wheel, you'll see that you can actually scroll through a number of different object references, which presumably are all objects like the table and whatever that are behind that mouse. But the only one that really looks anything like the actor's reference that came up with the help command is this one. So I'm going to leave that one the focus of the console, because it's in the middle of the console at the moment. I'm just going to leave it there now, and I'm going to close the console command so I can move again. I'm going to leave the building. Right. So I'm outside now. I'm going to call up the console command again, and just to prove that this is Lydia's true actor's reference, I'm going to see if I can move my character to that reference, and if it is Lydia. So if I end up standing on the table or something, I know I've got the wrong one. I think this is how you do it. Just double check that. 9-4. So press that. Oh, yep. And where's she gone? Oh, there she is. So it looks like it is her actor's reference, because I've moved directly to where she was standing, and I've actually displaced her within the property. So I think that proves that that is her reference. If I go outside now, alright, and now we know that is her reference, I feel a lot more confident in using it. I didn't really want to sort of use a reference and end up pulling the table out into the garden. So I've made sure that Lydia's actor's reference is still current in the centre there, still the focus, and I'm just going to type in move to player. So this is the opposite. I've just moved myself to her, now I'm trying to move her to me, and if I press enter, and it's accepted it, so I just close the console and that actions it, and there she is. She's come out of the house. Hooray. I can talk to her, hopefully.
Still here.
Yep, she's talking to me. Always a good sign, especially with women. Sorry, that's a bit
Lead,
sexist.
I'll follow.
But anyway, so let's see if she'll follow me now. If I get on my horse. Yep, she gets on her horse. And if I turn my horse around and ride off, she should follow me. Ride off towards Whiterun. Is she following me? Yes! Right. So, mission accomplished. If you ever get in that position, I hope that video helps. And if I have any more adventures with console commands, I'll let you know. Cheerio. Gonna go and do some questing now.